In today's episode, I talked to Andrew, aka iRacer77. Andrew found himself in the middle of a really large controversy on Top Shot Twitter when he not only hit the Suns VIP experience on Finals Game 5, but he also hit the number one serial, Chris Paul, the next day. He talks about how he dealt with the controversy. He also talks about his time as an early Top Shot adopter, and he talks about his crypto and NFT strategy, among other things, including a special community question. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so let's bring in Andrew, aka iRacer, right now. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Thank you for taking the time today.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, well, I think that your story definitely grabbed my attention, and I think grabbed Top Shot Twitter's attention. And so I'm
Mm.
glad you could come here and just chat a little bit. I think you've had some really interesting experiences, both good and bad. You had some unbelievable luck, and you also
Yeah.
have a cool contest that you're running right now. And so I want to touch on a bunch of this stuff. And you were also one of the early adopters. And so I love hearing about how early adopters got involved and why they took that leap of faith. So why don't we start there? Tell me about your initial entry into Top Shot and why you decided to kind of ape in the way that you did.
Well, so my story is like everyone else's, really. I was on the Dapper email list for, joining CryptoKitties when that came out. So I got an email, I think it was like July of 2019. So this was, a year before it ever became a thing. So I got an email about how Top Shot's going to be like the currency, the fandom currency essentially, and like the new age of collecting or whatever. So I joined their waiting list, and I'm a huge collector. Like I have Pokemon cards, I collect other sports memorabilia, and I'm a huge crypto guy. So like the merging of these two things together for me was like a match made in heaven. Like there was no chance that I wasn't going to be buying this stuff.
Hmm.
So I was like checking my email like all the time, making sure that I didn't miss anything. So I signed up for their email list. Um, and then I finally got an email in mid-July of 2020. So basically a year later saying, hey, early access, you've been invited to the early beta or whatever of Top Shot. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. This is really exciting. And I had no idea what was going on either. Like I didn't know what moments looked like or how the process worked or anything like that. Um, so I joined, or I signed up and I went into the Discord basically at the same time. And that's where I met Usman and a couple of the other earlier Top Shot guys. And the rest is history, really. Like I think when I joined, the only packs that were available were with the strip and the early access, the early adopter packs or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
Um, and like they had the packs that had already sold before that, and I was like, oh wow, they had like legendaries and all this other stuff. So I was a little bit bummed about that, but yeah, I bought one with the strip pack, and I was hooked like immediately. Like I don't remember what I pulled exactly, but yeah, I bought one of those, and then I bought like 20 more after that, and I just kept buying more, and then I ran out of my like disposable crypto, so that's where I stopped. Um, yeah, that's basically it, really. And I wish I had more crypto to spend because probably would have had a lot of cool stuff. But
That's
yeah.
cool. So you just kept buying because of how much fun it was to rip a pack, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like there was no marketplace, there was no challenges yet. Even like it was just like going to the store and buying packs of cards. So yeah, and it was addicting. It was a rush. Like the whole serial number thing and like trying to find number ones and jerseys, like all of that, like clicked immediately in my head. I was like, this is crazy. It's a licensed NBA product, and there's only a couple hundred of us doing this. Like this, there's no way that this doesn't become popular in the future. And we were all saying that back then. So we didn't expect it to blow up like it did so quickly, but yeah, it was inevitable for sure. They built
Yeah.
an insane product, and we all love it. So
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm actually curious though. You said you collect Pokemon. Do you have any of
yeah,
those Charizards that are so
I have
sought after?
one base set hollow Charizard. It's not in the best shape, but I actually bought it like last year. Like I don't really have anything from my childhood. I'm trying to put together like a picture frame of all the original Pokemon cards and like hang it up somewhere. But yeah, so I'm actually really excited for the 25th anniversary set that comes out in October. I'll probably buy a good amount of those packs, but yeah, I had them as a kid, and obviously it blew up last year, so I aped into that again.
That's cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, so you got in early, and what about during this, how the market went up and came back down? What was your market activity like during that time? Were you like selling off a bunch? Were you holding Dapper? And how are you feeling as we were in this last 5 months of bear market?
So I started tracking my account activity on January 1st. So it was worth like 10 grand at the time, and I tracked it day over day at midnight every day.
Hmm.
Um, Once the user like the site started slowing down and more people were coming in, like I noticed a nice slow increase, and it was kind of like what we're seeing right now. So I sold a few things just because like the amount that some of these moments were worth, it just made sense for me to sell some of them. Um, so I think we saw our first like peak or whatever in late January, and then it kind of took a dive in the beginning of February, and then all of a sudden, like the end of February or like mid to late February, my account 10x in like 3 days.
Yeah.
So I sold some stuff, but like I don't know, I felt that there was more room to grow because of the amount of people on Top Shot. Like there's only like 200,000 or so at the time. And again, I was buying those moments last year. I wasn't really expecting to make a lot of money from them. I just like to collect them.
Yeah.
So I didn't go crazy selling them because I have a much like more bullish view for the next 5 to 10 years. So I've kept most of them. I probably sold, I don't know, like 10% of my actual account value at the time. And then I spent probably half of that buying moments again in like March. So I my like account value right now compared to my marketplace spend is like a 2 or 3x or something
Hmm.
like that. Um, so my ROI isn't that high, but because I only put in like 10 grand in the beginning, it is much higher, like actually. But yeah, I wasn't really buying all that much during the bear market. I knew like I was telling people that I was trying to get into Top Shot in like late January and February, like this pump that we saw, that this is not sustainable. This isn't gonna last. So the people who did join, I basically just said, just try to get packs because these moments, like, yeah, they're really awesome and they're cool collectibles or whatever, but they're not gonna keep their value in the short term. So I got like 5 or 6 people into Top Shot, and they basically just bought packs because there's no sense in buying these moments at the high. And I feel really bad for the people that got sucked in at the end of February because they didn't know, like they weren't here for the last 6 7 months. Like it obviously you got to do your own research when you buy stuff, but I probably like if I didn't know about Top Shot and I joined in February, I probably would have done the same thing that everyone else did and just kept buying them because, you know, it is what it is. They're awesome and you want them, but yeah, they're
Yeah.
definitely hyperinflated for sure.
Well, that was actually my experience, funny enough.
Oh, really? Okay.
um,
I mean,
yeah, so
that's true for the majority of collectors, right? Because the amount of users that we saw joining were, all buying at the peak. So it
yeah,
sucks.
yeah, it does. But as I've said before, it definitely says something about how addicting and engaging and how valuable like the Top Shot community is because I had that experience, but I'm still as like entertained and enjoy Top Shot as much as ever, like creating content regularly and such.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've watched some of your videos. It's good stuff for sure.
Thank you. And how do you feel about the more recent pump, or not pump, but trend reversal?
Well,
How
yeah,
are you feeling about it?
I think it's much more sustainable, right? The moments that are increasing in value are like the grail moments of Top Shot, like the
Yeah.
LeBron tribute, the hollows, the Cool Cat set. Um, and I think people are realizing Top Shot is, delivering on what they promised in the beginning.
Exactly.
I remember when Roham came into the Discord, July, August last year, and was saying how, they want to include in real life utility. Like if you have a certain amount of moments, you should be, you know, you should get special treatment at NBA games, yada, yada, yada. So, and that was also another reason why I kept buying packs, because I wanted to get the Magic moments, because I'm a huge Magic fan. I go to all the games. So yeah, that was that. And now that people are seeing this play out, they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to start buying again. So you see everyone completing their team sets, which I think is amazing. The Cool Cats Nine Lives Lounge, that blew me away when they sent the blog out, the emails that you're going to get your own infinite object. You're going to be able to be entered into giveaways. You get to talk with the heads of Dapper. Like I got to do that a little bit already as a mod, but for everyone else that hasn't had that chance to sit down and talk with these people and share their ideas, like that's priceless. And I really think that the Cool Cats Nine Lives Lounge will be a very sought after set. Like I think the Lamellos that are selling for like $4 or $5 now are going to be more valuable than that in the future.
Okay,
Personally,
that's a hot take right there. Not financial advice, of course.
no.
Uh, all right, very cool, very good. I'm glad you got that from you. I want to hear about this contest you're running. I saw it on
Hmm.
Twitter the other day. You hit like a 70-foot running jumper to copy that Markel Fultz. Hello, doggy cat tail over there.
That's cat, yeah,
I wasn't sure it was a dog or a cat, but that's a cat. I can
yeah.
tell. Yeah, so tell me why you started this contest, and just what was your motivation behind it?
Yeah. So Top Shot was in a bad spot, like right like during the NBA playoffs. Really, like everyone was expecting like Dapper to do some cool stuff, like they're doing now during the playoffs. They did for the finals, but like everyone was super sad, and like you just saw their account tanking, and
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, okay. Um, I didn't expect there to be much going on in the off season, to be honest. Like they shocked me with all the things that have come out. So I was trying to think of an idea to like keep the community engaged a little bit, and I could do some giveaways or whatever. And it came to me like, there's a lot of us talking basketball and collecting basketball collectibles and all this stuff, but I hadn't seen anybody like playing or doing anything basketball related like in real life. So the idea was just I'll do these videos of doing like certain like shots or whatever, and if people can like win moments from them, maybe they'll submit their own clips as well. So for the first week, I did a mid-range contest or whatever. I took you had like a minute to shoot as many jump shots from 19 feet away, and like I uploaded myself doing it just because I wanted people to see like what it was supposed to look like. I wasn't expecting anyone to like go out and try to beat me or whatever, but somebody did. Um, so that was really fun. I got like 5 entries in that, and they got some cool moments out of it, right? So yeah, it was just something that I thought of because I didn't expect there to be much going on. So it was just something for the community to do. And this second one has been really fun so far. It was the circus shot edition of Top Shot Shootout. So one of my favorite moments on the platform is the Markel Fultz 3/4 buzzer beater from the bubble. So I thought it'd be really fun if I could somehow make a shot from the same distance, more or less. And I, shot the video of that. I overlaid the audio from the game on top of it, so that was really fun. And again, I'm giving away, a LeBron no look 3, Paul George's Top Shot debut, which is like the cool behind the backboard shot that he did, and a Markel Fultz 3/4 buzzer beater. So I've gotten some really, really cool entries so far. Like the first guy to submit a clip was some dude in Israel who did a freaking like LeBron James Kobe tribute style shot from like half court. Like that's nuts.
I saw it.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So yeah, the idea, like I said, is just to get the community engaged and give them something to do during the off season. And it's been really fun so far. So looking forward to more clips.
Yeah, I hope to send you one as well. When is the cutoff?
Yeah, so August 13th, 11 to submit the clip, and then once everyone submits, I'll have a poll somewhere that the people can vote on. That'll be open for like 24 hours.
Very cool.
So yeah, if you want to do it, you have like a day and a half.
Okay,
But
I
I
gotta
got
think of a circus shot. I don't know what circus shot to try, but I gotta think of one.
yeah, and I have a hoop in my driveway, obviously. So that's I mess around and try funny stuff all the time. So I just assumed other people did the same thing, and that's kind of where that whole idea went. So
It was very,
it's been
very cool. And I think we're seeing that as well. We're seeing a lot of people in the community just come up with ideas to engage.
Mhm.
And in
Yeah,
some ways, I mean, like I put on streams and I make videos and in some ways I'm also there to engage as well. And what's interesting too is when you talked about how you got motivated during this really low point, that's actually
Mhm.
when I released my first video. Was
Is
I
that
was
right?
on yeah, I was on Twitter. It was the day after the finals ended, and the sentiment was just so low. And some of the
Yeah,
biggest like top shot bulls were like, "We need rake back right now, or this thing is going down." And I was like, "This is just something wrong here. Like I want to put content out there too, and I want to try to like kind of straddle the middle line and just try to get the word out. And it's become its own, it's kind of taken on a life of its own. And I've really enjoyed it.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, well
it's
done
cool.
with all that. And yeah, it was some dark times for sure. And thank God for these other NFTs that have come out because it's kept a lot of us distracted.
I know.
And now that Top Shot is starting to do its thing again, we're all coming back. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So speaking of dark times, I mean, the reason why you sort of became a figure on Twitter was because of this whole controversy that occurred when
mm,
you got selected to go to the Suns VIP Game Five. Then you got the number one serial Chris Paul the following day,
yeah,
and I guess it became more common knowledge that you used to be a mod on the Discord, and everyone just cried foul. So
yeah.
I wanted to get just like your experience on that, and what was it like, and like how bad did it get for you, and did you also feel like the opposite as well during that time?
Yeah, so before winning the giveaway, I had maybe like 200 or 300 followers on my Twitter. Nobody knew who I was except for some of the more active people on the Discord or whatever, right? Um, so I win the giveaway, and then I win the Chris Paul moment, and like I knew that there were a lot of people spreading controversies about other things that had happened in the past, and when I pulled that Chris Paul, I freaked out because it was the first, number one serial I'd ever pulled. And then I sat down here and I was like, well, this isn't good because I know that there's people out there that are going to think that this is, a scam or it's rigged or whatever. So I posted the tweet and I got some response like, well, why did you do that? And I was like, well, I just gave the community a head start because they're going to look anyway. Everyone looks to see who pulls these moments, right? Like I looked just a little bit ago to see who got the number one Drew Holiday. Like everyone looks, and that's the beauty of the blockchain, right? Um, so yeah, and then the hate started rolling in, and a lot of it in DMs, but some of it was active or public tweets that everyone could see. And that sucked. But most of it, or most of the response that I got from it, was the community saying like, "Well, this is amazing. Like, have so much fun in Phoenix. Take a lot of pictures. Like, we want to experience the sweet through you and all this stuff." And that was really cool. And I got so much more love than I did the hate, so it was really easy to just not worry about it. Um, but yeah, so that was kind of how that went.
Okay, so then you got the hate, but it didn't really affect you that much, it seems.
I mean, it did a little bit. Like it's hard to ignore, right? Like you can block the people that send it, but you don't know like who's sending you hate until you get it and you read it, right? So it sucked a little bit, but And honestly, like going to Phoenix, like I was a little worried about meeting the collectors there because there's like eight of or seven of other ones, and I studied economics in college, so I'm a math guy, right? So I'm just thinking to myself, well, the amount of people that I'm getting love from, the amount of people that I'm getting hate from, there's a decent chance that one of them is one of the haters, right? So I was really nervous to meet them all, and they couldn't have been nicer to me. Like everyone was super awesome. Meeting collectors in real life is awesome, and you got to get you got to experience it whenever you can. Um, and you're seeing it with the other winners of the other giveaways too. Like they're talking about how they talk to collectors in person and how great the community is outside of social media. And I experienced the same thing, and it's awesome.
And you are you go to all the Orlando Magic games.
Pretty much, yeah.
So how did this game compare to a normal game that you go to? Was this just like way past any normal
Oh
experience you
yeah.
have at a game?
Yeah, and I mean the closest thing I can compare it to is when the Magic won the Eastern Conference Finals in '09. Like I was there for all those playoff games. Um,
That was versus Celtics, wasn't it?
no, the Cavs.
Oh, was it
They
in?
beat they beat the Celtics in the series before that, the conference semis were the
Okay,
Celtics.
okay. The semis that they beat them.
Yeah, and then they lost to the Celtics the next year.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember beating the Cavs and how crazy the city was and how electric the arena was. But somehow Phoenix was like 10 times crazier. Like it blew me away, right? Like I think when it hit me the most was during Giannis's first free throw, and they started doing the count up, if you will.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like watching that on TV. I thought it was the stupidest thing because like yeah, obviously he's gone over the 10 seconds before, but these people are counting so fast, and I was like, why are you doing this to the guy? Like he's following the rules, whatever. And hearing it live, it's just like, okay, I understand why you guys are doing this now because it's impossible to block that out if you're at the free throw line. I don't care who you are, right? And I sent you a video of it if you want to pull it up, but the video doesn't do it justice at all. Like it's so loud in there. And like my ears were buzzing for days after, and it was crazy. And we're in a suite too, right? Which is kind of like blocked off a little bit.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I can't even imagine being like in the actual crowd where it's just all around you. It was nuts, absolutely nuts.
That's amazing. And I remember I saw you on the Moment Ranks podcast, and you were talking about you were talking to Jacob, and Jacob was actually giving you some advice about
Mm,
about what to tweet about when you're in these kind of tough
yeah.
scenarios on Twitter. And I actually remember too when you posted the photo of yourself in front of the mirror and you said
Oh
something
yeah.
like, if I'm gonna get hate, I might as well look good doing
Yeah.
it. And I was like, I think that's a little bit like putting gasoline on the fire.
Yeah.
Do
That was
you
before.
would you take that tweet back now if you could?
Yeah, I would, but like I honestly wasn't trying to troll. So I was getting all this attention, right? All these new followers, and nobody knew what I looked like, right? So my wife and I went shopping for clothes and stuff so she can make me look good for all these pictures and all this stuff. Like she made a huge deal out of it for me. And obviously I was like way overdressed. Like if you look at the pictures, like I'm there in like a nice button down, slacks and all this stuff. No one's wearing jerseys and t-shirts or whatever. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so I took the mirror selfie just so people could see what I look like, or whatever. The caption is what did me in though, right? Like
Yeah.
I yeah, I shouldn't have done that for sure. And that, like I said, that was before my advice or before the advice that Jacob gave me for sure. Yeah, I definitely didn't handle that as well as I could have. Um, and then, again, like that was the first time that I'd ever experienced something like this. So it was learning. I learned a lot from it for sure. And I, talked to Jacob that same day, and he basically was saying like, just don't tweet anything about it. Like, just ignore it and let it die out on its own, right? Um, and I listen a little bit. Like I block some stuff out, but I still, reply to some people just because like some of the stuff that people were saying, like I just felt like I had to say something. Um, but yeah, it's definitely better now. Like I hardly get anything anymore, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's like the news cycles. Everyone's
Yeah,
outraged for like 48
exactly.
hours and then it's something
Mhm.
else. Um,
Yep.
but so that
Yep.
was just an extremely lucky event, chain of
Hmm.
events. And I remember
Oh yeah,
you bought the lottery ticket afterwards. And was there, I'm actually curious if there was a part of you that thought you were going to hit.
a little bit. I'd be lying if I said. 'Cause not only so I won the giveaway and I got the cereal out of the pack, but the week before I won a bored ape.
Are you still
Like
holding that, by the way?
no, I sold it. Um, I'll touch on that in a sec. But
Yeah.
the Bulls on the Block, which was like the first PFP project that I minted, did a giveaway. If you had like over 10 bulls or whatever, you got entered. And
Okay.
I just I was automatically put into it, so I didn't really do anything. And then I saw the tweet and I looked at the address for the board ape. I was like, wait a second, I those last four numbers, like I recognize those. And
Oh man.
sure enough, I got a name. Yeah, and I think they were worth, or the floor was like three. It was a floor ape. It wasn't any special one. But I think they were worth like 2 to 3 Ethereum at the time, which I mean that was like 6 grand.
Yeah,
Just
it's still a
like
ton of money.
yeah. And then they pumped a little bit to like 7, 8 Ethereum. It died down a little bit, so I sold it. And then I bought another one like a week after that when they started going up again. So
Oh, okay. So
and
got
I
back
sold
in.
that one. I don't have any apes anymore.
Oh, all right, all right. But yeah, it's a good thing you didn't add that on the mirror selfie thread. Like, oh, by the way, guys, how's this? How's this? Here's my ape I just won.
Yeah, yeah. It
And
was
are
a really crazy stretch of luck for me.
for sure. Hopefully it doesn't balance out now and like you start like closing the car door in your hand and stepping in every puddle and
Yeah,
but
no,
are you like a lucky person outside of this kind of online life?
I mean, I never won any types of giveaways or contests before, so really, like this is the most luck that I've ever received. And my mom's side of the family is like they're all really big gamblers, so they take trips out to like Atlantic City all the time. And I remember my first experience playing at Caesar's Palace. I was like, why do you guys like doing this? Like we're blowing all this money playing Let It Ride and craps and all this stuff, and like I lost my ass there. Like this sucks. Like I don't ever want to do this again. But then we go back like a couple of years later, and I can't remember what we were playing. I think it was three card, and I pull like three jacks in my hand, which was like $1,000 hand, just like that. And I was like, oh wow, okay, now I understand why you guys do this. So yeah, like just generally lucky. I'm a white dude living in the USA. Like
That's true, right? You already kind of hit
that,
the lottery being a white dude in the USA.
yeah. So there's that. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's just a normal life for me, luck wise. Not
Okay.
anymore though. I mean, clearly I've got something going here. So.
Yeah, I know. Clearly. Is there anything else to share about that VIP experience? Because one thing that I was talking to with one of my Twitter pals,
Mhm.
he was questioning like how closely knit the NBA and Top Shot are because he said he's worked for companies in the past that could create that experience just with the right amount of money. Like they can get
Sure.
you can get the Budweiser suite, you can get the Budweiser employees on the floor. Was there like something extra that you felt like, wow, this is something that
Yeah,
feels different?
like no, that makes total sense. I could have just bought, whatever they wanted to with the crazy money that they have, but the Phoenix employees that we met, like they made us feel important. Like they went out of their way to show us certain things that I'm sure regular people probably wouldn't be able to do, like being able to take pictures with the Western Conference trophy and touching Booker's 3-point shootout trophy, which that wasn't even a part of the itinerary originally. Like they literally said like Devin Booker just said like, hey, like, do you want to take pictures with this? Like that's crazy, right? Like that's not something that you do just because you get paid. Like, it really did seem like the NBA and Top Shot are like won there. And yeah, like I said, we felt like VIPs the entire time. They treated us with the utmost respect, and like we felt like royalty. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. What do you look forward to on Top Shot? Like, do you have anything that you're kind of looking forward to in terms of what you feel like they're going to progress into doing, or rumors
Well,
of
yeah,
what's coming for S3?
yeah. So I mean, all of the winners in Phoenix were talking about how like this Top Shot suite needs to be in all the arenas next season.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were speaking with other teams in the playoffs when they started, like Brooklyn and LA and other teams like that, clearly they have these relationships with these teams. So I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but I do hope and expect to go to Magic games this next season and get to do some really cool stuff that I'd never done before. Like I've never sat courtside before. I've never met the Magic players really. I went to like Pat Garrity's camp when I was like 7, so I got to meet him. So that was cool. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't done that I'd really like to, and I think Top Shot will be the way to do that. I'm 100% confident that's the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, it's feeling more and more like that. It would be fun to play knockout versus Markel Fultz.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, he doesn't have the best 3-point shot, so that actually might be the best person to go up against, right? But yeah, like seeing people play basketball with NBA players, like when those videos came out, I was just sitting down. I was like, this is just the coolest thing ever. Like I'm so jealous of these people right now. And like
Yeah.
when we were in Phoenix, Jacob was saying that like if COVID wasn't a thing, like we would have been able to play basketball on the Phoenix Suns court, right?
Wow.
I mean, it was still insane that we got to walk around it at all, right? And I went and stood where Jay Crowder stood when he threw the alley oop to Ayton. Like, it was surreal, right? Like, it didn't feel real at all. And yeah, if all of us who are collecting our favorite team players and the team sets and stuff, I hope that everyone gets a chance to do that at least once this season.
For sure. I'm a big Celtics fan. I'm currently outside of the US though, but
Okay.
yeah, it'd be great if they release like a common Kelly Olynyk. I'm all over that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I don't see why not. I mean,
he
he was
had
there
he
for a
had, he
while.
had yeah he had some interesting highlights as a Celtic.
Yeah.
Um,
He's probably not super high on their priority list of
yeah,
historical moments, but it might happen eventually.
yeah. Another thing that I saw you touch on another interview was that you were no longer a mod, and I know that was also kind of the cause of some of this controversy that you
Oh yeah.
received. But tell me, you seemed like a little bit sad that you were no longer a mod, and I was curious why. What was it about being a mod that you enjoyed so much?
Well, like I got in so early, and I met all the Dapper staff in Discord and talked to them for a really long time, and like I knew how great people they were and how awesome this product was going to be. And so I almost felt responsible and well, not responsible. I felt obligated to like protect the integrity of Top Shot. And like I really tried to help out new people coming to the product. And you know how I don't know if you're in the Discord much, but like the general chat is just not a fun place to be. Like you can talk about how great the community is or whatever, but the chat is just not fun. Um, so like I really took it on myself to try and change that. And I felt like I did a decent job there for a while, but it really got out of hand. And yeah, now it's Dapper's responsibility now, unfortunately. But yeah, like the whole mod team thing getting canned, like obviously it makes sense to think that this stuff happened with me. It was a PR disaster. They're canning the mod team, but they were planning on doing this for a long time. A lot of the mods who I became friends with and who were with me in the general trenches for months were, we all got like contacted by Dapper and they're all like, well, we're trying to expand our community team here at Dapper Labs. And they basically asked pretty much everyone if they would be interested in joining Dapper and work for them. So the writing was on the wall there that they were trying to pull the mods away and hire them as staff. So they were doing that all the way back in like early February. So yeah, that was a thing for a while. So I do think that they expedited the process a little bit after what happened with me, but yeah, that the mod team going away was something that was always going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, and now, like, I want to say almost like half of the people that I originally joined with and in the mod team are now actually working at Dapper now. So that's kind of cool.
Did you
I
not
know
want
that
to? Did you not want to?
no, I didn't, and really the only reason is because you can't participate. Like I joined Top Shot last year because I love to collect the product. I wanted to experience these, the in real life utility, and yeah, that's really the reason why. Like I have a decent sized account. I want to be able to manage it whenever I want and stuff like that. Um, so I don't want to rule out ever working for Dapper in the future because I think that it's a great company and I'd be honored to work for them. And the fact that they even offered, me an interview to work for them is just it's insane to me. Um, but yeah, like being able to collect and all that is more important to me right now. So that's why I didn't join.
Gotcha. What do you do, by the way? What do you do when you're not in
I
front of a
I,
computer?
I basically do NFTs and crypto full time. So
Okay.
um, I graduated in 2015, Florida State, with an economics degree, and then I worked at a software company that specialized in market data management. So I worked for them for like 3 years until like 2018, which that was when the last crypto wave happened, and made a decent amount of money there. And I couldn't focus on all the crypto stuff while having the full time job, whatever. So I quit, and I've been doing that for the last 2, 3 years now.
So you're like day trading crypto, or you're
That's
more
what I was doing that, and then now it's NFTs.
day
So
trading NFTs.
pretty much, yeah.
But you actually, before we started recording, you told me that you took a 5 day breather because of what happened with the Fame Lady squad. So tell me a little bit about how your strategy has
Oh,
now changed.
well, so like I've lived through I don't even know how many crypto pump and dumps over the last 8, 9 years. Like it's all like the patterns are all the same. Like the same stuff happens, right? So I was starting to notice with these NFTs that like some of the projects weren't selling out as fast as they were before. Like the influencers tweets and all this other stuff wasn't having as big of an impact as it did before. So I took a step back and I actually made a tweet saying, hey, I think personally that the top of the PFP NFT market is here right now. So I'm gonna like take a step back and just focus on Top Shot for now. So yeah, I haven't minted anything in like 4 or 5 days, which like that doesn't seem like a long time, but in this space that's like a month or two. So yeah, I can't even I think the last thing that I bought were those crypto art things, which
Art
that
blocks.
turned out to be not art blocks. So it's called crypto art with the E at the end art. And apparently it's supposed to be the first like Ethereum based NFT.
Hmm.
It came out in like 2018 before CryptoKitties or whatever. It was generated off chain. But yeah, it was supposed to be the first or whatever, and some guy tweeted about it. And these things have been on sale for 3 years, and only about 60% had sold in that 3 year time. And then this guy puts a tweet out, and then the rest sell out in a day. So yeah, that I'm in another like NFT Discord, and I got a tip from one of the like the heads there about it before the guy tweeted about it or some other guy. So I bought a couple of those, which that turned out pretty good. So yeah, like these PFP NFTs, like I don't really care about like their communities or their like their like or what they're supposed to be used for. It's purely just trying to profit off of them. So
So right
yeah,
now,
I bought another one and sold that one too.
so right now you're not holding many NFTs at all then, or PFP
Well,
NFTs.
I have some, and it's just because they were either like products that didn't do very well, or just some stuff that I already made profit on, and I just want to hold for like a few years to see what happens with them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have some of the Fame Lady Squad still. Um, obviously I thought that was dead in the water, and now that Art Chick has the contract now, it apparently is revitalized. Like none of this stuff makes any sense to me at all.
Yep.
So I just recognize the patterns from being in crypto so long. So I just try to do what I can there to make some money.
Gotcha. Well, it's definitely very young and immature and volatile market. So if you are recognizing trends and things like that,
Yeah.
then it could work out nicely for you.
Mhm.
All right, very good. I mean, I think that kind of winds down to the end of our interview. I have one community question here. Is there anything else you want to cover before I ask you that?
I think we're good.
All right. So the community question is, what is your favorite cereal? Apparently you can tell a
Favorite
lot.
cereal.
Apparently you can tell a lot. I don't know. I don't really agree that you can tell a lot by someone's favorite cereal, but go ahead. Favorite cereal.
Sure. So I don't really have a favorite, but I go through rotations.
Hmm.
So there's like three main cereals that I like, and once I get tired of one, I'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
Right now I'm having Lucky Charms.
Ooh.
Uh, After that, it's usually Frosted Mini Wheats. I like
Okay.
those, and then those Cinnamon Toast Crunch churros. Like I
Ooh.
really love the Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavor, but the actual like square cereal, it gets soggy way too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But the churros are, nice and thick, so they stay crunchy longer. So I really like those two.
All right. Well, I mean, Lucky Charms. Wow. That's a throwback. I mean, that's you obviously like burn a lot of energy during your day because Lucky Charm is like yeah, having a slice of cake for breakfast. But that's good
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
not healthy for me for sure. But I don't have cereal every morning. It's probably like once or twice a week, I would say.
All right, but I used to love Lucky Charms. I always found that the marshmallows were so amazingly good, and like the other
Oh yeah,
little like X's and O's or whatever, they taste a little bit like cardboard. I think I would just go for the
yeah,
marshmallows.
yeah. So when I was younger, I don't do this anymore. But when I was younger, I would try to eat most of the grain cereal and save all the marshmallows for last. And that's just terrible. Like it's gross thinking about that, like eating a giant spoonful of just marshmallows. But you know,
I think we
kid stuff.
all we all did that. I don't think that's
Yeah.
not an issue. But anyways, Andrew, thank you so much for making the time, and you provided some interesting insights into dealing with like the angry horde of people. I think you have a unique take there that most don't. So thanks for sharing that with
Mm.
me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I look forward to seeing what happens as well. I look forward to seeing you on the floor at the next opener for the Orlando Magic.
Oh, I hope to be there. I mean, I'll be there, but I hope to be, treated nicely by the Dapper staff there for sure.
That'll be cool. All right, man. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you.